All right. Welcome to the Two Dudes podcast, episode 72. 72, bro. We've been doing this for 72 weeks. What is that, a year and a half? I like that.
Uh, I'm you tell me. You're the numbers guy. You tell me.
Almost a year and a half. I mean, 52 weeks in a year. So add 20 more weeks. So almost a year and a half. So keep it going
Sounds
on.
consistent to me.
Yeah. And I am Rick. That is Kevin. I want to welcome everybody to the Two Dudes podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, let me get this out the way right now. Leave a comment. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. Any shout outs, questions, comments, anything. We 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 don't run away from anything. Be sure and like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with others. That way we can keep this train going. For everybody that's listening on audio only on your podcast feed, we appreciate you very much. And if your podcast feed allows, do the same. Comment, send likes. If it doesn't, we have an email address, the two dudes podcast at yahoo.com. Uh, THE, the number two, dudes podcast at yahoo.com. Again, any kind of questions, comments, we we shy away from nothing. All right, Kev, how was your weekend, man?
It was a trying time. It was a trying time for me this past weekend.
Uh-oh. Trying time as in you might have to kill somebody?
Close. I almost told my part-time job to kiss my ass and walk off the property. But cooler heads prevailed, and I didn't do that. I kept my mind focused on what I'm trying to do, and I just realized I'm over this two job shit. Grant, me and you both know why I'm doing two jobs or whatever. But come March next year, I'm done. I'm just that last year. I'm just gonna grind that shit out and just make it work with what I make, and I'm not working two jobs. I'm tired of it. I'm
I feel
tired
you. I've
because
been
I'm
there
just saying
before.
today, unless you run the company, no one gives a fuck about you. Let's be honest about it. If you don't run it, they don't care. So
Yeah.
I only got enough respect to swallow one job. I can't swallow two. You feel what I'm saying? As
Yeah,
far as when disrespecting.
let me make it extra clear what Kevin's saying to the people at home, whether you're listening or watching. No matter where you work, no matter what you do, no matter how high up you think you are, you're an employee ID number. Period. That's all you are. If you don't own the company, you are an employee ID number, and that's all you are. I don't care how many people call you by your name. At the end of the day, you're replaceable. At the end of the day, these jobs will do you however they want to. P.S. for those of us who listen, live, and work in Kansas, Kansas is an at will state, meaning you could look at somebody cross eyed and just get fired for it. They don't care. They don't need a reason. Don't know about Missouri, but I know Kansas is. Uh, if you guys live in any other states and you're listening to the podcast, leave us a comment. Let us know what state you are in and if your state does the same thing. But Kev, before you go off on anybody and try to kill them or anything like that, just remember every day why you do what you do. And that's going to tie into the main topic because we want to better ourselves financially. Uh, before we go there, though, I want to go over a couple other topics. First, I got a question. When are the Olympics over? Because I'm real tired of it.
I think this is the last week.
Damn, it feel like it's been going on for 2 months. It really do.
Oh. That's just because one of your channels got taken away. You had no choice but to watch it.
That's true.
And your son's been adamant about watching it. So therefore, you're gonna watch it.
Nah, you know what? The last couple nights I walked away and went and did some other stuff. Work on some artwork, stuff like that. I don't want
That's
to see any
intense.
more.
You did shit you know you needed to do, but you didn't want to do because you didn't want to watch the Olympics.
That is true too, but they don't need to know. All right, so back to the Olympics, just real quick for those who keep score at home. The medal count as of noon today, the United States had 73 medals total. China had 69, and third place. What is ROC?
Oh, see.
Yeah, it says ROC. They've got 52. Is that the Republic of Korea? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. And Great Britain is rounding out number 4 spot with 43. But before we jump for joy talking about USA, like I said, we have 73. China has 69, but only 24 of ours are gold. China's got 32. So, yeah, we've got 21 bronze. They've got 16. So we got a lot of third placers that have bolstered our numbers. So if you look at it from that perspective, China is whooping ass in this Olympics, and we need to come strong with these final days.
I agree.
All right, so some shocking news. Um, New York City will start requiring proof of vaccination uh, for gyms and indoor dining. So it has begun. If you don't have your little paper, your little card, you can't get in. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I'm not worried about the gym. I don't go work out. It says gyms and indoor dining. You want to take the missus out to eat? You better have your shot if you live in New York City. The reason why I say that and bring this up, depending on New York's numbers, this is going to spread. And you're going to start to see it from a lot of other cities all around the country. What do you think is going to happen if that comes on your neck of the woods, Kevin?
Well, come around mine, I just won't be going nowhere. As of right now, I'm still up in the air on what I'm gonna do. So I'm still up in the air on it. And the thing about what people fail to realize, we've been heading in this direction. I've said it. When I got the invitation to that graduation party, and they said that we have the right because it's our house to request the non-vaccinated to wear a mask. Every entity has a right on who they serve and who they want to serve and when they want to serve. So if they add that to it, no surprise at all. It's damn near expected.
Now, keep in mind that technically it is illegal for an employer to make you get the shot. However, like I said, Kansas is an at-will state. I don't know about the great state of Missouri, and other states. If you look at the numbers, for every 3 people that will be forced out of a job because of this, every 3, um, one person will take legal action and they may or may not get compensation. One person will take legal action. They will settle out of court for a low end compensation. And one person will do nothing of the kind. They will just say, woe is me, then move on and do the next thing.
Yeah,
So
no
if you
one.
look at the financials, those corporations that go through this, they're not going to be hurting for money. They're not going to be losing anything because they're not going to be paying out like you think they are.
You see, the thing is, you have no leg to sue with. There is a hairline of a green light, shall we say, that you can go through to where you can demand it. Why do you think the big name hospitals and companies are putting that mandate out? Because there's a gray area. If there was no gray area, this wouldn't be happening. That gray area avoids you going to court. and no one's gonna fight it because they're gonna see, well, if Truman is putting a deadline, Federal Reserve putting a deadline, Atlanta General's putting a deadline, then if they're getting away with it, what can I do being a peon? Because I ain't got that kind of top lawyer money. So it's gonna go up under the radar, up under the rug, and motherfuckers are gonna just deal with it. You got a lot of people getting shots that don't want to get shots, and you got some that's like me that's waiting till the 11th hour to get a shot.
I'm like you, and you know, we've disclosed this on numerous episodes. The reason why I choose to wait, I'm still not sold on how healthy this thing is. What are the side effects? What are the possibilities for ramifications? And a lot of people are like, well, there's been no reported side effects yet. Not yet. If you think about it, and see, this is the advantage of you and me being former employees of a CRO. We know how long it really takes to go through clinical trials to test these things. And if you look at every single, if you can turn on the TV, I don't care what channel you turn it to, commercial TV, one of those commercials that comes on between whatever it is you watch is a medication. And what is the tagline on every single one? The tagline says what the ramifications are for taking it. May cause headache, dizziness, vomiting, whatever side effects. Everything has side effects because they're man-made chemicals that you put in your body. And if you don't think there's a side effect, something's wrong with you.
And then on top of that, let's keep it 100. All this shit started about 2018, 2019. So let's just say 2019 is when it really kicked in. The earliest something could come to market is between 3 to 5 years. Am I right or wrong?
That is the earliest, yeah.
So we shouldn't be seeing no type of cure, drug, or anything until next year.
I would agree.
And it wouldn't be solidified until 2024 to where they would be like, okay, this motherfucker ready. So
and you're being generous when you say 3 to 5 years. I was going to go all the way up to 7.
Yeah, I know 7 is when it's a full-fledged done deal, but realistically, the earliest is 3 to 5. Right, and 3 is them kind of turn their back on a couple of things like, all right, well, those are minor side effects. We can let that roll.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people will say, well, they did test for side effects. They pushed these three through. For our English speaking audience, let me say that again. They pushed these 3 medications through, whether it be Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, or Pfizer. They were pushed through. They were hurried to come up with this vaccine. And because of that, they got it out so fast. And to me, that's even more dangerous. That I guarantee you something got skipped.
Yeah. And here's my thing, not trying to be a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but if all 3 of them came together and worked, I'd be more inclined to want to take it. But since all 3 want to be separate but equal, how you want to put it, I'm just kind of like, let me put my brakes on that.
Yeah, that one is, but you know how it is with big pharmacy. They want to make money. They want to be the one that came up with the cure. And I'm still hearing about people still getting COVID after getting one of the shots. And now with the Delta and the Gamma, yeah, it's just worse. And I believe, full disclosure, again, I believe that this was a man-made disease. I think that somebody screwed up somewhere in some lab and this was man-made. This didn't come from no animal. All the damn animals we done had roaming the face of the earth since the beginning of time, some of them before you and me. No, somebody did this in a lab. It got out, and this is where we are. And that's all there is to it. But hey,
strong possibility.
All right, so let's go ahead and go to the money issue here, because I wanted to talk about financial goals, responsibilities, all that good stuff, because we've touched on it before on several shows, and and I was looking at something, and it was something along the lines of being financially better, and that goes across a couple different things. So it's not just like, hey, save money and that's it. There are six things that I want you to touch on that I bring up and tell me what you think about them. And this is for people whether you have good credit, bad credit, somewhere in between. You will obviously won't need all of these, but some people may. The first one is for people that may have not so good credit. Get a secured card. And a secured card is a good idea for people who are either A, starting out, or you've made some mistakes, but you have to watch that shit because there's a lot of companies out there that will have a high ass interest rate. Um, you'll be paying way more than what you should, and it's something that you should also get and use very, very sparingly. If you want to use it to get gas once a month, and then at the end of the month, pay it off again, brilliant. That's going to make your credit look good because A, you got a credit card. B, it gets paid off every month. C, it gets reported to the credit bureau. Your numbers go up. However, um, there are some new types of cards out there. They are also secured cards, but they use your checking account, I believe. So they make sure that you do not get yourself in a bind because the card is tied to your checking account. You can only spend what you have in your own personal account, and as soon as you do it, they mark it that their card paid for it, but they take out that same amount out of your account. Then they report at the end of the month to the credit bureau, hey, you bought this, this, and this and paid it off. Again,
Yeah,
your credit goes up.
what
So
it is,
go ahead.
what that card is um, it's basically equivalent of a Visa card. You just got it through your bank. You put however much money you want to put in it, and they treat it like a debit card. So you can't spend over what's in there. Only thing that's tricky about it is when you run out of money. Is how that looks or whatever. So it's like you need to constantly put money in it. That's why I have two credit cards. One I've had to use to where the balance a little higher than I want it to be, but I'm working on getting it back down. And the other I've got it just for strictly emergencies. And I hate having them, but you unfortunately in today's world you need them. I think they're really not a benefit. It just gives you free money. I started the whole use mine for gas is at the third, but then something on the car had to get fixed and had the money. Boom, there's a credit card. Or girls soccer. Um, Found out at the last minute they mom wasn't gonna have her part. Oh shit, let me boom, I'll put it on the car. So it's just like, it's a slippery slope. And you gotta have just the greatest discipline not to fall down that slope, if that makes sense.
Right.
And so like it's cool, but me personally, I really don't care for it. I'm not a big fan of I'm not a big fan of credit cards. That was one of my demises in my nuptials. Find out motherfucker had several that have been closed that I didn't know about, and
Mm.
over the bound, just so like it's a gift and a curse. I would I tell people not to get one unless you need to. I said don't get one until within like the next 6 months to 3 months, you want to purchase a house or purchase a car, then get one to use and show you how you use it. Other than that, I wouldn't get one. Like a coworker told me, if you can't pay it in cash, you don't need it. And
That's
I
true.
feel her.
That's very true. But unfortunately, in this world, cash money doesn't talk like that. Plastic talks louder. All right. Now, second, invest in penny stocks, regular stocks, or any using any kind of app. I believe one of the things it mentioned, because it talked about penny stocks, there's an app called Spare Change. It doesn't have high fees, and it doesn't have any high fees for any of the transactions that you make. And I guess with penny stocks, they are just what they sound like. You don't have to put a whole big amount of money into the stock market. You can get smaller stocks, and it's the best way to play the stock market for beginners, shall we say. It's not
Yeah.
something for a high roller, but it is for somebody who wants to get used to how this goes. Um, Me personally, I would go with mutual funds if you can. It's a little bit safer, but uh, again, because it's penny stocks, low risk, low reward as well. What do you think about penny stocks?
I don't care for the stock market, period. Because my whole thing is like I tell people, if you can't take money and just walk away from it, forget about it, you don't need to fuck with it. Penny stock, dollar stock, whatever. If you can't take this money, put it there and walk away for 6 months, 2 years, if not longer, then you should never did it to begin with. Too many people going crazy over it, or like with Tim. I told him whenever he's ready, I got money to give to him to put on the market. But oh man, this, that, this, you either got it or you don't. You either go, you go, hey, step up to the pot and piss and get away from it. Plain and simple. And it's just, it's it's a gamble. If you got very little, last thing you need to do is be gambling. I don't agree with it. The credit card, the stock, just do it the old fashioned way. Go to work, put your money to the side, put a budget together, know what your bills gonna be, know what you got to spend, and go from there. Otherwise, you putting too much pressure on yourself to try to do other things or whatever. It ain't gonna happen overnight. It might take you 6 months to a year to bounce back. I'm in fucking bankruptcy right now that I didn't ask for. I probably was 2021. I probably won't bounce back till 2024, 2025. Where I'm just like, okay, I don't feel that on me no more. Because I gotta get the further I get away from it, the better my credit is good. But unfortunately, once I get 6 months away from it and then some, my credit looks better. So right now I'm looking like my shit's 100 points or whatever. When I know I'm in the sevens or whatever. So it's just go to work, get your check, pay your bills. We all blow money on bullshit. Cut the blow down, and I say, if you blow about 100 a month on some bullshit, put half that in a savings, and then blow the other half. Because we all go blow money on something regardless of how much we try not to.
Right.
But all that stock and all that shit, I just like when yesterday I went to Burger King. The lady was like, "Oh, your total is 980. You want to do a 20 cent more? Donate to the kids. 20 cents taking care of kids now. How can I be down? Cause I got two starving ass kids. Let me know how I can make 20 cent feed two kids. But every time I was like, yeah, go ahead and bump it up. Side note, Burger King spicy chicken sandwich is like Wednesday morning for me. Straight trash.
Had it, don't like it. First of all, it's not spicy. It's really not.
I was like, what's this bullshit?
You know how
Trash.
it's almost painted orange,
Oh, graffiti artist ass chicken sandwich.
pretty much. So yeah, little break from what we're talking about here. Those of you who like it, go ahead and message us. Tell us how much you like it. You really haven't had a spicy chicken sandwich then. Okay.
You hear how you like it. Shit's trash. Right now, McDonald's still has the best one. I gotta try KFC and Churches. Popeyes was just like Burger King to me. Just they frying the fat and shit, made all extra crispy, and like ain't no fucking meat in this little part. You break that shit off. I mean, the sandwich was cooked right, but all said and done, it was trash. It was like a regular ass chicken sandwich.
All right. Now this one goes hand in hand with what you were saying about saving. create a vacation fund. Everybody needs to get away sometimes, whether it be someplace the next town over, completely different state. Save up for your vacations. And the reason why is because they say that you have to be able to have goals. And this is a good goal because vacations create memories. Memories are the things that we should strive for, not things. Things fade, memories. Um, and when you go on vacations, you see new things, you experience stuff. It's a beautiful thing. And if you have kids like we do, you want to take your kids somewhere nice. It's cool.
Man, where you getting this weak ass shit from?
This ain't weak. Are you telling me you don't want to take the girls someplace nice?
You know, say vacate. The world isn't set up like that. Yeah, we all take a vacation when we can, but if you're starting over and you're trying to rebuild this and the third, you're not gonna be able to do that for a year or two.
Now, keep in mind, this whole article isn't for people trying to rebuild. This is for everybody across the board. So, like I said at the beginning, one thing may not work for you, may work for somebody else.
Okay, but as the world is going right now with people losing jobs and shit, everybody's starting over. That whole vacation shit, yeah, maybe a staycation, you stay your ass at home, but realistically, I guarantee you, all these motherfuckers that's traveling right now, ask how many of them really could take that trip. I guarantee you barely get a third of the people that really could take it. Everybody else is doing it just because they're like, man, fuck them bills. I need to go to Florida. Fuck them bills. I need to go to Jamaica. That benefits nothing because all you're doing is digging yourself in a hole. I'd love to fucking go somewhere right now, but I can't. If I
No,
could,
no. This is about being financially able, then save up for a
see,
vacation.
that's the thing, though.
Uh,
A lot of people aren't going to be financially able for a while. So
they
to
may
say
not be,
that a goal for like a year from now, whatever, or 6 months from now, that's not plausible at all.
but they didn't say do it right now. They said save up for it. So
See,
you
but
might be saving in 1 or 2 years for a
they're
vacation.
not putting a premise around it to where they're letting people know you may not be able to go tomorrow. You know how people look at me like I'm not living life because I ain't went nowhere? I'm like, the mountains I've had to go over to get to where I am, I'm proud of myself. And I didn't make vacation a priority because I need to get over that hill. Like now, I need to get over this hill. Let me get over a
And
couple.
I do feel you. I mean, that's your particular situation.
Yeah,
Mine is different
yes.
because I want to take my kid on vacation. He's never been to Disneyland. It would tickle me pink to be able to finally take him to California or Florida, probably California, to Disneyland, Disney World, whichever, it don't matter. Let him have a good time like we did when we were kids. Now, financially, that's not holding me back. The pandemic is, and that's a whole different story.
Yeah. I mean, and listen, I get that, but the thing is, when they put these things out there, they don't preface it for real everyday life. Like, I would love to look at my girl, but hey, how we went to Minnesota, we about to go wrong, do this or whatever. But it doesn't work like that.
True.
And they need to start putting this shit in feasible references to where it shows how the real world operates, how the real world works, to where motherfuckers can see what's really going on. I mean, because I don't want people thinking, oh, he's anti-trip, this, that, and third, because I'm not. I love to take a trip, but I have to take a fine, smart, feasible trip. Because my whole thing is, like I say all the time, I was saying this when I was married, when I first heard this. If you take a trip and you got to watch what you spend, it's not a trip at all. You should be able to go and you got your stack that you can spend and it don't matter. Because
That
otherwise,
that right there, you hit it right on the head. If you now, I'm all about vacations. If you can do it, do it. But like Kevin said, if you worried about overspending on your vacation, you worried about spending money at all, it's not really a vacation, is it?
yeah, it's the equivalent of you at the strip club and everybody balling out and you got $20 in your pocket, but you need to look like 200.
You got to pick and choose who you give that to.
Exactly. And then you go nicely pick up some ones off the floor and act like they're yours. I ain't got time for that. It's like it's another thing. It's like us being or you being married, but us having kids or whatever. You take your child, you take both your sons with the wife, you're on a trip. When you go just you and your wife, you're on vacation. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now you
But
notice how when I use my example, I prefaced it with he's never been to Disneyland. I'd like to take him. Because if it
yeah,
was just me and her, we ain't going to Disneyland.
yeah, without a doubt. And so the thing is, when you do this aspect of a trip or whatever, if I'm like, shit, this money I expect didn't come through, we still go, and you willing and dealing, but your significant other don't know, then you gotta tell them, hey, we came here with like 250, we got $30 left. And you still got a day and a half to go. How you gonna survive?
Oh, hell no. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So bro, that's what happened to me. Cause you've been in my house. When we bought the house, we moved in. We got tickets to the On the Run tour when it first happened. Because the Mrs. Love, Jay-Z, and Beyonce. I'm like, hey, if I can make it happen, let's make it happen. That's another thing. This is where credit cards are bad. Didn't have the money for the tickets. Throw that shit on the credit card. We go get these tickets.
Plastic fantastic.
Exactly. Got seats to where Arrowhead got the gold level seats or whatever.
Yeah.
We spent about $150 on 2 tickets for their version of the gold level seats in Soldier Field. I told her, I said, boy, I know people who own NFL tickets that are pissed right now because these seats we paid about $50-$60 for. During the season, I guarantee these seats go for $200 a seat. We had the angle perfect and see everything beautifully. Hotel room, put that on the card, but we'll pay for it when we get there. Drove, that's not the Ultima. Drove the Ultima, didn't get a rental. Drove the Ultima.
So you got to worry about gas.
But use that to buy a refrigerator versus plane tickets. Because since it was me and the family, I couldn't get away with just, hey, we're gonna go ahead and just use these igloos until we find the fridge. We like that shit ain't gonna work. That's some bachelor shit we could do.
Right.
Like my mom's ex-boyfriend, to this day, he used the step above a mini fridge. He didn't have once his son left, he got rid of the big fridge and cut down to the little one for his electric bill. He was like, I don't eat like him. I don't need all that food. I was like, that is smart as hell. Never would have thought about that. That's how he got down. So we just moved out the townhouse. I'm thinking they sent back our deposit money. We was getting back like $700. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking we got that as deposit. We get there, we go eat, drink, we went the day of the concert. We was there Thursday through Sunday. We got all this shit going on. Then I get told like Saturday, hey, we need to slow up. We only got this and this. And I'm like, what do you mean we only got this and this? I had to put in the call to my cousin. Thankfully, she wired us about $250. Which we didn't need all that, but she wanted to make sure we was good. And then we was good, the rest of the trip, whatever. But you just, what I'm saying? Like, if I can't go and enjoy myself and I got to be shoots and ladders with my money, why go?
Right.
I don't need that headache. I don't need that. But yeah, bro, that took from a grand trip to just man, I can't believe this. And then when I go in there, oh, I'm so sorry. But you don't want to hear that shit because you already irritated or whatever. You just like, man, whatever, just don't do it again. But in your head, you're like, I can't believe this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know.
Boy, that was the time. I tell you, that 8-hour drive coming back from Chicago was the quietest 8-hour drive I think I have ever had.
You went through St. Louis to get back?
I want to say yeah, I believe so.
So you had a long, quiet drive then.
Yeah. It was windy as fuck too. That drive wasn't no fun.
Oh yeah, I didn't been to Chicago, and they call it the Windy City. It's appropriately named. All right, the fourth thing on the list goes further into what you were saying. Save, save, save. It says try to save back 3 to 6 months of your salary in your savings. for unforeseen circumstances. And the way lives are today, there's usually always an unforeseen circumstance. Do
Yeah.
you agree with the 3 to 6 months? You think it should be more? It should be less? I'm thinking 6 months is ideal. I think 3 months is probably a little on the low end.
I look at it like this: if you're in a relationship, you need to have at least 90 days. You need to figure it out, make it happen, stick to a budget, 90 days. If you're by yourself, try at least have a paycheck in savings. If you can do a month, that's great. It's kind of hard to nowadays. It's hard to save like that because of the simple fact that you know everybody's doing this. I don't want you to outshine me when it comes to like rent. To where they doing comparisons to everybody. Everybody feel like they got to be on the same with everybody, even if they don't have the same amenities. So it's like, I mean, realistic. Let's keep it 100. When you was here, your rent probably was about half to 3/4 of your check. Am I right or wrong?
Oh yeah. We lived in Overland Park, so you know it ain't no punk when it come to rent.
Yeah. So your rent was easily 850, 800, if not 950 to 1,000. And that right there, so you a check's negated out right there. My mindset has been, and if I ever get another spouse or whatever, or a life partner, however you want to put it, my mindset is going to be, you know, whoever makes the most should do the heavy lifting as far as the mortgage. And then, automatically that check is gone. And what's left, put that in savings. And then, the other person pay utilities. Cause like when I was with Jody, my mindset was I got the car note, I got the mortgage, and like the cell phone bill. That was like the biggest bills. You take care of the groceries and the other stuff, we should always have money. But if you know somebody's on the same mind as you financially, your response is, I mean, that sounds good if it's there. It should be there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah, I
I agree.
definitely agree. Because when she wasn't working, it was we were trying to get shit going and keep things afloat because there was no savings, because there was no financial structure. It was hard. It was beyond hard. But I just grinded. Hey, you know me. I was going from one gig to the next, and then the third gig about a DJ gig. So I just did what I had to do.
Yeah, and I think, and I hope I got these numbers right. There's a what is it? 60/20/20 rule or something like that, where the big portion of your check goes to the bills, then a smaller portion goes to saving, and then whatever else is left goes towards whatever the frivolous things you want. And I know I said 60 20/20 or whatever. I think I got that number wrong, but it's somewhere along that lines. But whatever the number may be, I kind of like that because that is a good barometer. Because if more than 60% of your check has to go to bills, I think you have too many damn bills. You need to cut something back. B, um, you should be able to easily save 20% of your check if you have your bills in check, so to speak. And then that would lead to C, that should leave you some quote unquote fun money. And everybody likes fun money. I know we're talking about saving and stuff like that here, but let's be honest, every now and then it's okay to splurge. Buy yourself a new outfit, go out to eat, whatever it is you want to do. Because when you work 8, 10, 12 more hours a day, when you come home, you want to be rewarded for all the hard work that you've done when you bring that check home. So
Yeah.
it's only natural.
Now, that's the one thing I'll say I didn't do. I wasn't good at spending money on myself. I'm still not. I still suck at that. But the way my best friend told me she used to do is like say Well, she a nurse. Her husband at the time, he worked for farmers. Let's say after taxes they pulled in like 5, 6 G's or whatever. Automatically, I think she was like, they both would get 10%. That's yours, spend it however you want. Then they would pay bills. I think they would pay bills out of her check. Then they would put his directly in savings. I think like the majority of his went straight to savings or whatever. And like it was a cool thing that made sense, but like I told her, everybody's not financially able to do something like that. But then like my brother, the way his is set up, okay, the way his was set up, he was telling me that he what is it? They have separate accounts. They got their bill paying account, and so it's just like there's ways to make it work. It's just you and that person gotta want to have that discipline. If not, it's gonna just really defeat the purpose.
I would agree with that. I would agree, and you definitely both have to have the same mindset. The fifth thing that was on this list,
Uh-huh.
um, knowing and understanding your credit. And I think that's a phrase from a book on from Fannie Mae about being able to get a home loan and establish yourself. And I think that it's very important that you do know your credit score and that you also understand that because there are three major credit bureaus, it's not going to look the same everywhere you go. A good example, if you go to buy a house, you might look at your credit score and say, okay, I'm 740. I'm good. I'm good. They may run it and it comes up 670. Not so good. I mean, that's still decent, but it's not in the sevens. So that's something to look at. You get a car, find out who it is that they run it on. Is it TransUnion, Equifax, whatever
But
the
the good thing, there's only two of them now, so
what happened to the third one?
I think it merged into one of the others or just dissolved. But it's only like it's really two of them now.
Oh, okay. Still though, everybody's going to check one or the other. Rarely will a place check both. So understand if whether there's two or three, understand and look at and know both or all three of your credit numbers and make sure that they're all exactly or as close to being exactly the same. That way you do not have to run into a problem like this. Because I guess some companies will report to one and not the other. And that may be why
Yeah.
you may have a lower
So
number in one area than the other.
the one thing that does suck about these credit bureaus, which they really need to be redone, is a simple fact that like I checked mine a while ago, and it showed a credit inquiry when my credit got ran back in 2019. That should have been off my credit by now.
Mm.
I'm like, why is this even still on here? And it's like I remember that place approved me for credit, but I never went and got it. So it doesn't even show up that I got it. It's just showing where they ran it. I'm just like, y'all can let this go. Y'all really can be done with this. So
Now
it's
that
just
goes hand in hand with what this part of the topic is, because if you understand your credit, you know that you can write to the credit bureau and get that removed.
yeah. Well, I guess I'm need to write and tell them, hey, move that shit.
Yeah.
Right, say it like that, but you know.
And it doesn't have to be a big dramatic formal letter. All it has to be is a simple letter, your name, the date, what's on there, your dispute. They will automatically check into it and they will check into the party that the claim is on. And
Mm-hmm.
they have, I believe, 30 days to do any disputes, no matter what it is. And if they do not get back to the credit bureau, guess what? It comes off just like that. So understand your options. It's not as easy as looking at your credit numbers and saying, oh, it's this. Oh, well, what will I do? Find out why the number is that number and find out how you can make that number better.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
All right, and now the final thing on this list, and this one is the one that I'm working on right now. Obtain multiple streams of income. And
Yeah.
that's the reason why I saved this one for last, because it circles back to the beginning of our conversation. I know that, you are thinking about cutting the cord on the second gig, but it is in reality a second stream of income. And as long as it is, do what you got to do to hold on. Now, I understand with your situation, there's only so far you can go and there's only so much you can take. Because if I was in the same situation, I would do the same thing that you're contemplating. But for everybody out there, whatever your situation is, obtain multiple streams. Your DJing gig, that is a multiple stream. I know you were working on getting landing a good one there the other day. You had shot me a text. Fingers crossed for you, by the way. Hope that that works through.
Still
And
waiting on that call.
and if you do get it, that's something. And the good thing about whether it be photography, DJing, stuff like that, it's pretty much cash under the table. It really is.
Yeah.
You're not taxed on it. What you charge is what you get. Now, granted, the bigger you are, you may want to start for people that own their own business, investing in either a tax ID number or going incorporated. That's a whole nother thing that other people can check into. I don't know about you. RJK Productions is not that big, so I'm not worried about that right now.
Yeah, I'm not worried about this. But you know what's wild though? How you said, tax free and stuff. When the one corporate event I did and a couple school gigs I've done, it's been straight payroll checks that they've given me tax free. And as
Nice.
you would think that they will, considering it's coming from their budget and everything, that they will hit with something. But it was, I was like, hey, it is what it is. I'll take it.
No, because because of funding, when it comes to corporations and schools,
Mm-hmm.
they cut that check because they can write that off.
Yep.
And that's one thing that's not on this list that I guess I should bring up. Taxes. Understand your taxes, because there are things that may be owed to you that is not put out there straightforward. I'm not saying try to get over on the government, but I'm saying look at what's coming out of your check every week and understand that you are definitely entitled to get most of that back. And not just that, depending on your situation, you may be entitled for more, i.e., if you have multiple children, you may be able to get certain subsidies. You may end up, if you have disabilities, you may have something that could be coming from the government. It's all kind of things that could come to you. You do have to do the research. So you can't just sit there and say, hey, woe is me, I wish I could do more. You got to put in the legwork. And if you put in the legwork, I guarantee you will dig up something. And it can work out for you.
No, I agree with that. Okay, I will tell people that whole buy a house, get these tax credits, that's bullshit. Just want y'all to know that. Houses aren't tax write-offs like people think. Unless you're making your shit solar to the upteen power energy efficient, you're not getting anything off your house. It's just not gonna happen. Or unless you got this banging expensive ass house, not gonna happen. They they put you through the ringer to give you one dime off your property. So don't think because you got property, you automatically go get something. This past year is the biggest tax return I've ever got in years. But I'm already knowing next year because I've worked pretty much well, not all this year, but majority this year, fingers crossed, I've worked. I'm probably going to end up owing because they gave me such a good return this year. So I expect that. Then the next year I'll probably break even because it'll still just be me or whatever. But yeah,
Bro,
don't
I tell
fall
you what,
for the grades.
um, slightly off topic, but slightly not. I'd looked in to converting the house to solar.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I looked in. That's where it stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it costs hella money just to convert.
Yep.
So it could be a good while before you start to see a return on your investment.
Yeah. One of those soccer coaches from the girl scene I'm cool with. They went solar panels on their house with a light company, and you got to put too much trust in them because it's like how far as the energy that he absorbs or whatever. Then say he absorbs 5,000 kilowatts or whatever, but his house only used 1,500, so he got like 3,500 that's sitting there. He sells that back to KCPL, and they cut him a check. I don't trust that. Why would you cut me a check and just not give me credit? You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? It's like it's too much back and forth going on to where you got to stay on it to make sure they're not on you in a bad way. Then on top of that, what if we have a bunch of dark days, 1 month, a lot of rain and stuff? I'm gonna end up owing you because I ain't got enough power, and that's when you got to kick in with power. So it's like you're never truly free of electricity in some regards.
I don't know. Some of the things I was looking into, those panels create almost a 2 week reserve. Now, besides money, one of the things that I did not like about them, and this is one thing that they don't tell you, those panels have to be replaced quite frequently.
Really? How much is the
Um,
fan?
oh, I can't remember off the top of my head.
That
It's
means
it's
it's too much.
yes. Hold on.
Breaking news.
No, somebody text me from work and I'm wondering why they're still there. All right. Anyway, that's about finances and I just tell everybody be careful, do your research on any of these lists that we put out there. Do your research, be careful, know what you need to do, know how to get to where you want to go. Plan it methodically too. Uh it's okay if each step has a separate step. You know, I'd rather you be more careful than less. Um it's easy to say I'm going to save $1,000. Anybody can say that. It's a lot harder to say I'm going to save X% of my check or I'm going to put back this many dollars every week. That's when you really have a plan. And then the most important piece, execute the plan. And I'm curious, everybody that's listening, leave us a comment. Let us know if we might have missed anything important or what steps you would take and any advice that you would have. Shoot, I could always use some extra financial advice because I am trying to create another stream of income. And unfortunately, everywhere I turn, it looks like I'm going to have to, put a little extra money into it in order to get what I want out of it. But I've done my research and I think the reward heavily outweighs the risk. So, hey, I'm going to go for it. Anyway, that's our main topic. Kevin, you got anything before we wind it on down?
Just uh, no, no. Pandemic has struck. Um, the lady hit me up last night. The one whose wedding I had at the Kansas City Art Museum, who was supposed to be in 2020, no 2019. No, it's supposed to be in 2020. It was supposed to be September of last year. Hit me up last night and said they've canceled they canceled their vow renewal in October. So they don't think the pandemic will get any better. So I think Kansas City Art Museum probably done told them we're gonna push you back some more, and they just said fuck it. So I've already lost my first gig due to the pandemic. I'm hoping this ain't about to be a continuation, because I got hit up about a reunion, a 30-year high school reunion for October. And then you know that one I hit you up about before that. So like I got stuff in the works. I'm like, man, I hope this ain't about to start dropping one by one.
Damn. I think it's gonna get a whole lot better. It's just gonna have to, because, and I hate to take the defeatist attitude, say, you know, the world's going to shit, it's all gonna be bad, but I'm trying to be positive, because as you know, I'm the king of positivity. So I'm just gonna say, hey, I know it's gonna work out for you. Keep praying, keep your head up. Everything works out, and it really
And I
does.
get a lady props. She didn't do the typical Negro thing and didn't ask for her money back.
Good, good.
I mean, granted, you know, I don't know how that really would have played out since it was like a year or so ago. But you know, she didn't ask for her deposit back. And with her not doing that, I told her that if you ever need a DJ, you got one. Just left it at that. Actually, you know, just you said leave it up to Jesus or whatever. Had a good talk with Jesus. I had to get a bunch of stuff off my chest. So hopefully, I think that'll open some highways to the right ways for me or whatever.
Good,
And
good.
I think I might have some anger I didn't know I had, so I had to let some stuff go. So, but you know, like I always trying to push through. I really don't have much to speak on, or it's been kind of quiet on mine. It's been kind of slow.
Well, the good thing about this is there will be no more Sundays until February without football.
Yeah.
Now, the last week of this month is going to be hellified for me. As you know, the little one's birthday bash will be the 27th. That's his birthday.
Right.
He'll be the big 11. Um,
And that went fast, bro.
yeah, time flies.
Look at that baby shower for you at the gig. That he wasn't even born yet.
And that following day, I'll be up super duper early making that trip to Kansas City for the Rock the Parkway run. So I'll get down there, get my packet, get my run on. At some point in that afternoon, we got to get that golf game on and possibly shoot an episode. Probably shoot the episode while we're on the golf course.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. Yeah, because that day, if things go like it's supposed to, I'll get out probably 2:30 that day, 2:30, 3:30, somewhere in there. But yeah, we can get in a quick 9.
Now, if we
or
need
just
to shuffle, I'm gonna stay with my uncle Robert. So I'll probably not leave that day. I'll probably leave Sunday. So I'll probably stay Sunday, but I will leave by 3 because, as you know, Sunday night is our draft, and I want to be home for that so that I can,
what
get
day
that going. The draft is the 29th.
Oh, no, I drive. Is it? Is that what I said?
I think that's what you said.
See, I'm not fully in commissioner mode yet, y'all. So I ain't keeping up with dates like I should. Let me find my calendar. Make sure this motherfucker ain't lying. I guess it is the 29th. Oh, okay, all right. I don't know why I was thinking the 31st. I don't know what I was thinking.
No, our draft is usually on a Sunday.
Like I said, we'll either try to get in around, or you know what we'll do. This is what we'll do. We'll go to the driving range. Then we'll just go have a drink, and we'll do an episode while we have a drink.
That works.
And then the next time you come to town, I'll kick your ass. I want it to be a nice, friendly visit.
See, that's what we heard. But what he said was, I'm in fear that you gonna get your revenge and beat me so bad, we're just going to the driving range.
And see, just for that, I wasn't gonna say I was gonna pick you up until you put down your visor, and that score is gonna fall in your lap. You know,
I'm not falling for that trap. I'm not falling. I'll meet you out there. My visor will be just fine.
because it's still sitting there waiting.
I know it is, and I'm avoiding the passenger seat like mad. All right, it's time to go ahead and close up shop. Appreciate you, brother.
Saying to you, sir,
Hey, if anybody
I'm
needs
still
a
trying to say,
photographer, find me on Instagram. You need a DJ, find Kevin on Instagram. You need both, find us both on Instagram. I mean, we do Facebook too, and I do Twitter, but I'm not on them as much. All right, everybody, thank you. It's been another wonderful show. And as always, stay positive, stay blessed. We'll be back at it again next week. Kevin, close it on out.
all right, we'll have more bang for y'all next week. Every week ain't gonna be a firecracker. Today was more like a little snap that you get in a little box. You just your kids throw them, break their wrist on them. Today was a snap.
I don't know.
Next week,
Today was some good information for some people.
yeah, today was Richard love the educational stuff. I just want to make y'all laughing, but at the same time, you gotta do that every now and then. You gotta have those educational whatnots. Hopefully, y'all learn something. Hopefully, you'll improve. You know, because they watching to see us fall. You know, but I'd rather see y'all ball versus fall. On that note, holler at your boys. Just don't yell.
Later.